everyone. Hey, Wellness Crew. I am so excited today to bring to you Peacefully Controlling Your Emotions. This is something that I know a lot of people struggle with. I know that I've struggled with it myself from time to time. And so I just wanted to provide you with some tips and tricks for being able to control your emotions in the moment. My name is Jenna, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and or join for more content that's just like this. So the first thing to do when trying to control your emotions is to remember to practice gratitude. Whatever is occurring in the moment, try to think of something that you can be grateful for, whether it's in that moment or if it has something to do with something completely different. Whenever we're practicing gratitude, it's so much easier for us to be in a place of peace, in a place of understanding, and in a place of happiness because we're coming from our inside with a lot of positive emotion. It's such a positive emotion, it's so illuminating when we're able to practice gratitude in the moment, no matter what is occurring. It's easy to actually think about something to be grateful for at almost all times. You can think of pretty much anything. You can think about your family, your friends. You can even simply be grateful for yourself or for the universe or your higher power. But having that gratitude in the moment is a really great way to help you control your emotions. Take deep breaths. Taking a few deep breaths is a really great way to help control your emotions. It's one of those things where it just it helps calm your body down. It actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system to help you be in a position to just slow your mind down, slow your reactivity down. And it's one of those things that you can do very easily. You can just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. You can do this a few times, and it will definitely help you control whatever emotion you're feeling that may potentially be reactive. Another thing to do is to participate in self-soothing techniques. And what I mean by this is something in the moment that you can do that is self-soothing. What is something that's very common for several of my clients and for me myself is to actually just practice like rubbing the side of your arm or rubbing your leg as a self-soothing technique just to help calm yourself down so that way you can be in a much better position to control your emotions. Deep breathing is another wonderful technique, which we just talked about. And really anything that for you is self-soothing. For some people, that would be indulging in a scent, going and smelling something that's going to remind them of something calming and relaxing. That's something that works. Anything that is pleasant to your senses, that is definitely something that will be helpful for you in controlling your emotions in a peaceful way and in an easy and natural way. Count slowly to 3 before responding. Now, this one is really good because sometimes we're in conversations that might be potentially triggering, or we're just in a certain type of mood. I know I've been there myself. And when we're in certain types of moods, or when we're in a triggered position, or when we're talking to somebody that happens to be a bit triggering to us, before we respond to a question or to a comment, counting to 3, taking a deep breath, or simply just counting in your head to 3 and waiting to respond is going to be so helpful in helping you have a very good, like a really calming, it's going to have a calming effect on you. It's also going to make your response be a little bit easier because you're giving your body and your voice and your mind the opportunity to wait and pause and reflect before you're responding to something. Now, not every situation is triggering, and sometimes people just want to be able to control their emotions. They don't want the highs and the lows, even though that's something that's completely and totally natural. I totally understand not wanting to experience that. But just understand that whatever you are feeling, it's definitely okay to feel your emotions. It's okay to sometimes feel as though they are feeling uncontrollable, but that's exactly why I'm doing this live stream, is because I want to give you tips and tricks in order to be able to control your emotions. So that way you come from a place of authenticity and not from a place of reactivity. Another thing to do is to go to your happy place in your mind, whatever that may be. Going to your happy place sometimes can be imagining a place that's safe. Imagining a place that's safe in your mind, whether it's a room, whether it's an area, just imagining a safe place and going there and really practicing some type of soothing technique, feeling as though you are safe and secure. So that way, your emotions are completely under control in a peaceful way, in a peaceful manner. When you go into this place in your mind, it's really good to try to imagine all of your senses being completely enveloped by this space. It can be something that doesn't have to be so isolating, but it's just something to do as far as imagery goes. It's really helpful for calming yourself down, and it's helpful for maintaining your boundaries. So that way you're never going across your boundaries and feeling as though you're putting yourself out there too much, or you feel as though you're not allowing anyone to cross the boundaries that you have set for yourself. Practicing meditation is a wonderful way to control your emotions in a peaceful manner. I have many videos on my channel that involve meditation. Some are silent meditation, some are guided meditation, and some are even moving meditation. And meditation is so great because you don't have to practice it for a super long time. And it's not at all about having a clear mind 100% of the time, because that's just not realistic. We all have thoughts that occur, and that's perfectly normal. But meditating is a great way to relax the mind, to slow down the thoughts, to anchor yourself. So that way you're less reactive and you're just in a place of simple authenticity and in a place of action versus reaction. Meditation also goes a really long way with helping yourself be calm more of the time. Even if you spend just 5 to 10 minutes a day, in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, or really at any time that you have some silence to yourself, you can do this. And a really great tip for meditation is if you really want to feel as though you're going to have no distractions at all, get a sleep mask and put it over your eyes to eliminate the distraction of light. That's something that's always helpful. But when you practice meditation on a daily basis or on a semi-weekly basis, it really helps with having you being able to control your emotions in the moment, no matter what the situation is that you're experiencing or no matter what is occurring. Go into your cave. So, this is something that I've brought up in my meditation videos, and it's something that we can practice really quickly right now. So, what I want you to do is close your eyes. And I want you to start to slow down your breathing, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And continue to breathe in that rhythm. And with your eyes closed, what I would like for you to do is to imagine yourself walking along a path, seeing a beautiful ledge on the precipice of a mountain. Overlooking it, you can see the forest and the trees. And past this forest and the trees, you're walking on the stone pathway towards the door of your cave. You may have a key, or you may have your door unlocked. Either way, if you happen to have a key, unlock the door to your cave and enter it slowly, feeling on the floor, the weight of your feet, the weight of your body walking along the inside of your cave. Imagining the ceiling, the beautiful amethyst cathedral, and imagining this space as your safe space, as this place that you can go to in your mind while you're meditating, or simply while you close your eyes and practice the imagery of being in your dark cave where nothing can hurt you, nothing can harm you, and you're completely safe. You're free to experience your emotions and you're able to process them. I want you to imagine the feeling of warmth coming around you, enveloping you, allowing you to feel comfortable and relaxed. And I want you to take a few more deep breaths while inside of your cave, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Imagining what your cave may smell like, what may be inside of your cave, if you have it furnished or unfurnished. Perhaps you have some pillows, floor pillows laying around that you can sit upon. Perhaps you have some furniture. Perhaps you have some candles lit that you can smell. And after feeling as though you've calmed down, I want you to go ahead and, with your eyes continuing to be closed, start to walk out of your cave. Whether it requires a key in order to lock it or whether you just leave the door unlocked is completely up to you. But go ahead and shut the door and start to walk back down the path to re-enter your body and to feel a little bit more at peace, less reactionary, and ready to tackle whatever situation it is that you have to tackle. And instead of seeing it as a situation to tackle, seeing it as something that you can learn and grow from, no matter what it is. Another great thing to do in order to peacefully control your emotions is to get some fresh air. This is something that anybody can do, and you can do it for free. All you have to do is simply walk outside and breathe in the fresh air. Take nice deep breaths. Really enjoy the smell of the fresh air. Enjoy the feeling of being outside if it happens to be sunny. Enjoy the sun on your skin. If it's not sunny, enjoy the nice darkness that's enveloping you. And understand that this is a great way to really calm down, to really get in tune and in touch with nature, and to truly experience whatever emotion you may have. And if you have an emotion swelling up inside of you, giving yourself the opportunity for it to dispel, for you to get calm, for you to be in a space that's open and free and full of air. Air that's going to purify you. Maybe you can even find some grass, take your shoes off, and ground yourself to the earth. This is a really great thing to do in order to be able to control your emotions, not only in a peaceful manner, but also in a manner that's going to ground you and collect you and connect you to Mother Earth, collect you and connect you to your actual emotions and your authentic self without feeling as though you are pushing away your emotions or negating how you're feeling. You never want to negate your feelings. You definitely always want to be able to process them. You just don't have to process them in that very moment. You can always sidebar it. You can always come back to whatever it is that you're feeling. Just don't let it go for too long. When you let it go for too long, then oftentimes what happens is resentment tends to build up, and that's the opposite of what we want to do. We want to be able to have our emotions be controlled as much as possible because we want to not only be pleasant to ourselves, but we want to be able to be pleasant to the people around us, the people that love us and care about us. And if you ever feel as though that you don't have that type of support network, just know that that's exactly what this channel is for. It's to be a supportive network to you wherever you are in your journey on regarding wellness and regarding just your life in general. This is all about support. So if at any time you feel as though you are not being supported, that you don't have that type of family or that type of kinship and friendship with the people closest to you, always feel free to come to these videos, to come to my live streams, and feel free to engage in live chat with me. I would love to help you feel as though you have someone that you can talk to and you have someone that is on your side, that is your ally. Another great thing for peacefully controlling your emotions is getting some exercise. So, the great thing about going outside is that you can go for a walk. You can go for a fast paced walk, something brisk, or you can go for something that's more slow paced. There's a wonderful YouTuber. Her name is Alexis, but it's spelled AWWLEXIS. And how she describes one of her walks is the hot girl walk. So that's really getting in tune with your body, slowing down, allowing your hips to sway, and really just being in your body. But that's still a form of getting some exercise, of getting those endorphins going. Any type of exercise will do. I have videos on my channel that are a lot of different types of things. The majority of them are yoga, though. And yoga is a fantastic exercise in order to help control your mind, control your reactions, and to help you focus on your breathing. I love yoga, and I think it's such a great thing to do. But I also love other forms of exercise as well. I was a former CrossFit coach, and I really enjoy more high intensity training, including high intensity interval training. You'll really feel as though, especially if you have like a big swell of emotions, something like anger or something like frustration, you'll really find that with high intensity interval training, you're really able to get that out. You're also able to distract from whatever negative emotions or negative feelings you may be having because you're so focused on being in your body with the exercises that you're doing. A great idea too is to follow a Tabata protocol, and that's rounds of 20 seconds of work with 10 seconds of rest. If I remember correctly, it's either 8 or 16 rounds. I'm not 100%. I don't remember 100% right now, but that's approximately what it is. So 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. And for those 20 seconds, you are going all out. You are doing all that you can in order to get all that work in. And exercise is always a fantastic way to control your emotions because it increases your endorphins. It helps you increase the hormones that you need and the chemicals in your body that you need in order to maintain homeostasis and to be in a happy place. Another great thing to do to peacefully control your emotions is to journal. Now, this is not something that you have to do every single day. You don't have to keep a very detailed journal or anything like that. But whenever you find is that your feelings are getting very much heightened and increased, you can always journal it out. If you have a situation that's occurring or you're having an event that's occurring that's just bothering you or troubling you, journal it out. You can always get it, rip it up, and throw it away, or you can always keep it just as a reminder of an experience that you've had that you were able to overcome. You can also journal when you're happy. I highly encourage my clients to journal when they're happy. So that way you have the memory of that. You have the memory of something positive and good that's a record that you're able to go back and read and be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember that feeling. I remember those emotions. I remember what I was experiencing when this happy experience was occurring. I remember those emotions. And going into detail when you're journaling, if you would like to, you don't have to, but sometimes it's really good. So that way, when you do go back and read it, if you decide to, you'll have all that extra detail in there to really help you re experience that positive emotion. Journaling is so helpful because what it does is it takes whatever is in your mind and puts it onto paper. Now, you can always use a journaling app on your phone, but what I have found is that it's actually physically better to write out on a journal or on a piece of paper your emotions and your feelings, or talking about whatever the situation is that occurred that day, or a memory, or whatever it is. When you're actually physically writing it out, something about writing it out with your hand, pen to paper, sends a signal to your brain like, okay, I can release this. And this is going to help you control that emotional roller coaster that sometimes we feel as though we are experiencing. And this is a normal thing. We all have thoughts that come and go. We all have feelings that are fleeting that come and go. We all have emotions that come and go. Every day, we're not expected to be at 100% homeostasis all the time. Not at all. But these are ways for you to help bring you back to that authentic place that you are, the place of who you are, the place of what you want to be. When you're in a controlled state, it's much easier to think clearly, to make good decisions, and to be the best version of yourself. Another thing to do is to think about a happy memory. This doesn't have to be something that you journaled, but you can just think about something that occurred or a situation or just whatever memory, maybe from your childhood or maybe from last week. Whatever it is for you, something beautiful that happened in your life. Think about that memory when you're facing a difficult situation or when you're having a little bit of a problem processing your emotions and controlling them. So that way you can relive that experience. You can relive those chemicals flooding your brain that is going to allow you to be calm and to get into that happy state once again. When you go back into your memory banks, especially when it's a positive experience, when you do this often enough, what it does is it trains your body in order to stay in that state for longer periods of time. The more you revisit a happy memory, the happier you will be, and for a longer period of time, the more often that you do that. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to stay in nostalgia mode. We don't have to always be looking back at the past, but when we do have something pleasant in mind, something that has occurred, it's always good to show gratitude for that experience and to be able to then remember it and process it and be like, oh, yeah, that did happen. Or, oh, yeah, this is something that I can think about and really feel good about and really feel as though okay, whatever I'm experiencing in this moment is really not that bad. I've had beautiful experiences in my life, and reminding yourself of that can really help you with peacefully controlling your emotions. Also, and finally, well, at least for the list that I wrote down, smiling and practicing open body posture. I cannot tell you enough how important this is. When you're smiling, you're actually using less muscles than it is to frown. And when I mean frown, I don't mean your natural resting face, but I mean actively clenching up, being very closed off with your facial expressions, being in a very defensive posture, having your arms across your chest, having open body emotions. I was about to say that. Having an open body posture also makes you seem a lot more inviting and warm to other people. So it's a great thing to try to keep in mind is to try to smile when you can and to also keep that open body posture so that way you seem more warm and inviting. And this is something that takes practice, especially if it's not something that you're used to doing. Sometimes it feels very much like that movie Smile. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but in Smile, I freak my son out with this all the time. He's like, "Why are you smiling so much? You're reminding me of that movie." And I'm like, "No, no, no, no. It's just, when I'm smiling, I hear the change in my own voice, and you will hear the change in your own voice. And you will associate that with joy. You will associate that with being in a more pleasant mood. You will associate that with being in a happier space, being in a happier place, and being able to be more conscious of being able to control your emotions in a peaceful way. There's a lot of other ways and a lot of other things that you can do, but that was the list that I came up with off the top of my head because it was something that I thought would be so important and pertinent to what's going on just today in the world, I'm sure. I don't really watch the news. I choose not to just because I'm like, yeah, I don't need all that. But what I do choose to do is curate my own life. And that's something that I would highly recommend for you. You don't have to live in a bubble, you don't have to isolate, but it's a really great idea to curate your life, to really decide what are you going to allow to influence you? What type of books are you going to be reading? What type of images are you going to be intaking? What type of music are you going to be listening to? Because all of these things in the long term do affect the way that you think, and they do affect the way that you're able to control your emotions. Now, I love rap music, so I'm not gonna say don't listen to rap music. I love rock music. I'm not gonna say don't listen to rock music or don't listen to heavy metal. Oftentimes, what I do actually is I focus more in on the lyrics, on the message of the song. But music that I find that is really good at encapsulating a moment and encapsulating a feeling that I may have is Nine Inch Nails and Deftones. Um, both of them, their music can be incredibly soothing, but also be very anthem like, right? It's really great for maybe helping you to express your emotion. Listening to music, that's actually a great one. That just occurred to me. Duh. Listening to music is also a great way to help you control your emotions, especially if you have a song that really resonates with you, that really helps you feel a certain type of way, whether it soothes you, whether it brings you to a happier state, whether it's just something that reminds you of something or someone that makes you feel good on the inside, that brings you some form of pleasure, that helps you feel as though you can control and overcome whatever emotions that may currently be occurring. I highly suggest listening to music. Something my brother does is he listens to a lot of classical music. So he'll listen to music that actually doesn't have lyrics. I'm the kind of person where I like to listen to the lyrics. The lyrics to me are sometimes more important than the actual music itself. But it just depends on your listening style and what you prefer. Some people are more instrumentally inclined, and some people are more lyrically inclined. It just really depends on how you think and the way that you process words and the way that you process sounds. Another great thing you can do as well is here on YouTube, you can find certain frequencies of music. They have a whole bunch of different kinds. There's 936. I believe there's like 428, 428 hertz. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of music that you can listen to put yourself into a more peaceful state of mind. I actually have a playlist that has some of this type of music, and it really is helpful because a lot of the music that has been made in the past when it was made, it wasn't made ideally for our ears. And when we switched over to devices, the way that the speakers were working wasn't conducive for us to be able to experience music in the best way that we can. And now that we know that there are frequency waves and that they do affect our bodies in a major way, listening to certain types of frequencies of music is going to be incredibly helpful as well. So I really hope that these tips can help you with more peacefully processing and experiencing and controlling your emotions. And thank you so much for joining me today on this live stream. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and or join for more content like this. And I will see you on the next video or live stream. Be well, stay wild as well.